Yeah. That's I'm a Goofy Goober, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That is
Got it. Who sings
SpongeBob's
it?
primo song of choice.
I wanna rock.
All right, well, let's not just get distracted. We're only 15 seconds in.
It's
Welcome,
too late.
everybody. We need to say that we're sorry. First and
Whoa.
foremost, we would like to formally issue an apology for not recording for the last 2 weeks, but
Yeah, I blame John.
we've been busy. Well, okay, if I'm getting blamed, I've been busy. I needed a mental health day.
Disgusting.
Went on a vacation in my mind
So
palace.
you're prioritizing your own health over the content and the production for our fans who listen to us damn near weekly because we are such awesome individuals, and you would rather say, "Screw you guys suck."
No.
That's what I just
Technically,
heard.
I was just very, very busy. It takes a lot out of me. I ran 2 D&D sessions back to back, or rather 2 weekends back to back, but then
A likely story.
working during the week. Yeah, it was rough. It was, I mean, it was not bad. I'm only complaining because tired, and, complaint is that's the natural form of
Uh,
everybody lives in a complaint form.
I don't know about that.
Oh, only the cool people do. Sorry, I should correct
Gotcha,
myself.
gotcha. Yeah, the cool people. How much coffee did you drink?
Today?
To,
Or
to,
over the course of the last 2 weeks?
I don't think I want to answer that question anymore. Never
I'd have
mind.
to do math, honestly, that's how
Well,
much.
welcome back welcome back, listeners, to John Talks to Lamb, the show where you have questions, we've got answers, and you live with even more questions than answers.
Yeah, that pretty much. My mom has told me a lot about well,
Oh
she'll bring
gosh.
up things that have happened before, that we've talked about, and that is her consensus, that we almost always we leave her with more questions because we don't know anything at all. We just talk, and
Yeah,
then
we talk as if we know everything.
yeah, but
Well,
we don't ever really fact check, or when we do Google it, then one of us gets bored and the other one is starts going off on a tangent.
or we tell you the exact events of what happened, such as Shamey the Shamrock, the true story of St. Patrick's Day,
That is
which is
true.
coming up soon.
Is it really? Oh, man, you're
Yeah,
right.
St. Patrick's Day is in March.
Wow. Well, that's that is coming up, isn't it?
You know what? We didn't talk about the origin of Valentine's Day, but that's already passed, so probably not.
That's true. Valentine's Day is on my list of things to potentially talk about today. Though the fact that I kind of just hung out. It was a great time. I had a great Valentine's Day.
Without me?
Did you? Well, you're taken. You done been tooked.
I mean, so you
You
could
probably
wine
had
and dine
a
the homies.
wonderful Valentine's Day then.
I might have did a little too much, if I'm being completely honest.
Hey, that's fair. You know, what's a Valentine's Day if it's not for overdoing it?
Yeah, only been dating for like a month, so like I don't know.
S-
I don't know how we got to this point. I was gonna talk about Black History. Happy Black History Month, everybody!
What? It's
It's almost over.
February. Oh,
Yeah, it's February. It's almost over. But what's it called? What was I talking? Valentine's Day. So I guess this is gonna be my little topic for now. So the thing about
okay,
Isaiah
sure.
is, Lamb. That's me. I'm not Isaiah. I don't know who that
Right.
is.
Different person.
Yeah, different personas. Persona. I have a tendency to go a little overboard when it comes to gifting things to people, and it's not because I'm like, it's not like in a love bombing kind of way. It's very much I will think of an idea or like find something like, oh, I think they'll like this, and then my brain goes into overdrive, and it's like, oh, they'd like this too. Oh, maybe I should do this. Oh, maybe I should do that as well. And if I don't do those things, then it's not good enough in my head.
I
Uh,
see.
so what I did for Valentine's Day, I did Valentine's Day for not just the person I'm dating, but also my roommates because I didn't want them to feel like they didn't have a Valentine. And so the quote
Oh.
that was going around the apartment is, "I may not have a Valentine, but I do have an Isaiah." And I don't know,
Well,
maybe that's just me. That's how I am. But when ended up going to the store after work with my coworker, and while she was getting stuff for her for her boyfriend, I was going around the store finding things, and I'm like, okay, you know, it's I can just give everybody a little bit of candy and maybe like a drink or something, and so
Slippery
uh
slope right there.
yeah, because it started off with she was like, oh, my boyfriend likes this. And she's like, should I get this or this? And I was like, I think you should get that. I think they would like that. And then I was like, what do my roommates like? And so I called one of them and I was like, hey, what's your favorite candy? And she was like, Reese's. Why? And I was like, no reason. Don't worry about it. I'm not at the store getting you a gift right now. And she goes,
Uh-huh.
okay. And then I was like, okay, so get one candy for each of them, right? So I got one candy for everybody. Uh, and then we went down the chip aisle. I was like, I should get everybody snacks. I think snacks is a good way to show that I care about somebody,
What?
right?
You
So I
already
got
have that. You
everybody
got that covered. You snacked them. You got them snacks with it. Okay, yeah, please continue.
snacks like chips or like I think they were all chips, yeah. And I was like,
I mean,
okay,
they could probably also use some, like, pantry staples. Did you get them some, like, ravioli and, like, a couple of bags of
why would
rice?
I give them actual food? What do I look like? So,
I mean,
anyways,
now that they have candy and snacks and they have food, I mean, they'll probably need, like, maybe you could buy them a couple of stocks, set them up
I
down the
think I know
road.
what you're doing here. I think you're going a little overboard.
Oh,
So
I'm going
anyways,
overboard. Is that right? Okay, alright.
listen, let me
No, please
talk.
continue,
Let me,
please.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
please
yeah, yeah,
tell me
yeah.
more about this.
Back off. So anyways, get everyone candy, get everyone a bag of chips that I know they like. And then I was like, maybe I should get everyone a drink. And I was like, you know what? No, that's too much. And so then we end up going to another part of the store where all the Valentine stuff is. There wasn't that much because it was Valentine's Day. But there
Oh,
was
sure.
like the little candy, like the little hearts full of chocolate, that were like really cheap that you could get for like kids to pass out at school or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one for everybody. And then I remembered one of my roommates is allergic to chocolate, and I said, shit. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We're gonna put this back. I'm gonna go back to the candy aisle and get candy that I know that she likes, so that she doesn't die of chocolate.
Sure.
Because that would suck. Because that's best friend roommate too. And so I do that, and I give everybody cute stuff. I give everybody little knickknacks or whatever. Uh, as for the person I'm dating, got them chocolate, uh, and I got a card as well. Uh, and then the original idea I had for all this was edible arrangements, homemade edible
Oh,
arrangements.
okay, sure.
So I got the fruit. I was just gonna do the fruit, but
Oh,
then
you were going to make the edible arrangement.
yes.
Oh, okay. No,
And then my
that's
coworker was
impressive.
like, "Are you gonna get chocolate?" And I said, "You're so right. I have to dip these in chocolate. Then it really is edible." You see the slippery slope we're going down.
Oh, yeah. No,
And then at some point I was like, "Should I buy flowers? I
Oh
don't
my
know.
lord.
Probably."
And a
And
balloon. Can't forget the
I
balloon.
didn't get a balloon, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay, alright.
But
Well, you failed.
I
Bad
spent
Valentine's Day
a
then.
good
You
amount of
messed it
time
up.
trying to find a bouquet of flowers that had I had lilies, because that's the favorite flower.
Okay, what about
But
the bear? Did you get the bear?
that's me. I'm the bear.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And, yeah,
uh,
luckily for everybody, the edible chocolate doubles, for later in the night.
exactly. Shut the hell up. But what's it called? I didn't find it at the first store we went to, and I was like, "Fuck." But then we had to go to a pet store so that she could get some cat food. And she was like, well, Kroger's next door. And I
Mhm.
know that I needed strawberries too. And she was like, they have strawberries in there, I'm pretty sure. They also probably have flowers. Maybe you can find some in there. I did, in fact, find the strawberries, and I did, in fact, find the lily bouquet. And it was only $12, honestly, which wasn't that much.
Yep,
And
yep.
so I was like, okay, I got a bouquet of flowers. I feel like if I give all these flowers to one person, it might be doing a little much. So I split them up. And so I gave each person in my apartment and the person I'm dating some flowers. And I gave it to them based on, like, oh, they like this color. So this is
Okay,
the flowers
sure.
I'm going to give them. And so everybody in the apartment, aside from myself, got a couple of flowers, their favorite candy, and their favorite snack. That's not too much, right? No. Don't try to counter me right now. As for the edible arrangements, it took me about 2 hours to do it because I wasn't just like cutting them and dipping them, or I wasn't just like dipping them and just like putting them in a bowl or anything. I was like, no, I have to make this like cool. And I was like making them into flowers. I made the strawberries into roses by slicing them a certain way. I turned the kiwis into like a lotus flower, and then I was dipping stuff in chocolate. And then at some point, it just got really messy. And so then the person I'm dating ended up coming over, and thank God for Jacob, because Jacob was my wingman. And I was like, oh no, I started freaking out because I wasn't done yet. And he was like, "Don't worry, I'll distract him." So he opens the door and guides them to my room, and I was like, "Don't look in the kitchen. There's nothing going on in there. Don't look over there. Just
Nice.
follow me
Yeah.
to the bedroom."
Yeah.
And I was
Yep.
like, Jesus. And then Jacob came back and he goes, "Is everything ready?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm freaking out. I think I'm doing too much now." Blah 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 blah. He goes, "No, it's fine." And I was like, "You're just saying that." And he goes, "No, it's fine. He's gonna love it." And I was like, "Okay, I guess." Um, and then I was like, "Wait, I need the card. Can you grab the card out of the bag?" Because I brought all of the gifts into the kitchen so that they wouldn't be seen. And he was like, "Wait, did the card have Edna Mode on it?" I was like, "Yeah, because it's hilarious. Edna Mode from The Incredibles." And
Right.
Jacob goes, "Oh, that's sitting in the middle of your bed," and he was looking at it already. And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm not gonna lie, I did freak out a little bit because I was like, "This ruins everything."
Oh
I'm
no,
very
I
dramatic.
think that okay. To interject, I think that's a great distraction. You put that in there, right? They're
Uh-huh.
digesting that information that's in the card while
I
I don't
didn't. The
know, you're
card was still.
finishing dipping the banana or whatever.
I hadn't even written in the card yet.
Oh.
So the card was just sitting on my bed. It wasn't supposed to be there.
Oh, it was yeah, unfinished project.
So
Okay.
then Jacob goes into my room and he goes, "Hey, so I'm gonna borrow that real quick. No reason, no reason. Don't worry about it. But just just stay there looking cute.
Yep. Yep.
He's totally not doing anything crazy or making a gift for you right now." And I was like, "Tell him I'm not making a gift for him right now." He goes, "He's not making a gift for you right now." And so then I came in, I presented the gifts or whatever, and
Mhm.
then Jacob was around the corner, and he goes, Now?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm freaking out, dude. What do I do?" Mind you, I've been unofficially dating this person for shit, I don't know, at least a good like 7 to 8 months. But like we've only officially been dating for a little over a month now.
Okay,
Um,
sure, sure.
so like there's no reason why I should be nervous or freaking out
I mean,
over
this is the
this.
first, right, Valentines
That is
of this
true.
relationship.
And of course I went overboard, and I knew I went overboard when they came over. And I was like, I was looking at this tray of edible oranges that I had created, and I was
Mhm.
just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, I'm doing way too much, aren't I?" And then Jacob gaslit me into believing that it was okay, and so now I think it's okay. But I know that I did too much, but it's fine because then afterwards, Jacob left me. He was like, "I'm gonna leave you two lovebirds by yourselves for some smoochy time or whatever." He probably didn't
Mhm.
say that, but that's how I remember it. And then I was like, "Yeah." So like, I just did all this to let you know that I like you a lot.
Right,
Blah blah
right.
blah 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 blah. And then I just looked at I just like stared for a second. I was like, "This I know I did a lot. I know this is too much, and I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Are you overstimulated?" And they're like, "Yeah, just a little bit." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fair. I'm so sorry." And then they're like, "Yeah, I kind of feel bad because like I didn't get you anything." I was like, "Hey, listen, this is what I do. I go out of my way to uh to do this because I'm like my brain is like I have to show my affection uh and show you that I care. And whenever that happens, I just do too much."
That's
And then I was
fair.
like, "Yeah." So I'm gonna go to the kitchen and clean up. I'm gonna let you have some time alone. I am so sorry. And did I go into the kitchen and was like, "You stupid idiot. Why did you do it?" Yes, I did. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Well, maybe you didn't stick the landing, but, the buildup was nice. I
Yeah.
think Valentine's Day, I think, is very much one of those well, really a lot of these events, I feel like personally I've come around on where I was like, I don't really understand, big chocolate, all that nonsense."
Mhm.
Now I'm very much like, these things are cool. I appreciate that we have a societal day of just collectively agreed upon, yeah, we're gonna get chocolate. We're gonna eat the chocolate. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah. See, and like I'm like I've done Valentine's Day before, like in previous relationships, and like obviously it was kind of a big deal, but I never was like, oh, this is a huge deal. Like I'm gonna do something cute or whatever. But that's
Sure.
because I was like, I really was under the impression that I was not a like I wasn't romantic. Um,
Ah, yeah.
but looking back at what I do for my loved ones, especially like the people I date, uh I'm very much a spur of the moment kind of romantic person. So like the stuff I do, sometimes it's premeditated, but it's not like romance movie over the top, but it's still pretty over the top for like doing something at the last second, like very spontaneous.
Sure.
Uh and like I was cuz I remember talking with my friend about it, and I was just like, am I romantic? And he was like, "No, you are. You're just, like, not." "Oh, no, my computer went black, hold on. Help, help, help." Okay, I'm back.
Well, I can still hear you. Can you still hear
Okay,
me?
we're back, we're back.
Okay,
We're
good.
so back.
Technical. We've had technical difficulties
All
since the
day,
moment
all
we
morning.
before we started.
Yeah, it's so Jover. But yeah, they're like or he was like, "Yeah, like, you're romantic. I mean, maybe not traditionally romantic, but you are, like, chivalrous. You know, and not even like a milady or like opens the door type shit, but I'm very much the kind of person like we could hang out all day. We could hang out every day or whatever. And
If
like
chivalry isn't traditional, I don't know what would be. Are you unga bunga? I don't
I don't
understand what
know,
could be
man.
more traditional than chivalry.
Listen, I don't know. Maybe the way I'm understanding it is not the way that it sounded. I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe so. I don't know.
But what's it? Yeah, Unga Bunga. But no, cause like I would hang out with the person I'm dating like all day or whatever, and then it's time for them to go home, and every time, no matter how far they have to go, if I'm gonna be seeing them again soon or whatever, I'll always be like, "Hey, let me know when you get home, please. If you don't, I'll be very sad, and you don't
Right.
want that." I don't threaten them like that. I'm just like, "Hey, let me know when you get home, please."
Sure,
And
sure.
if they don't, it does hurt my feelings, I'll be completely honest with you.
The threat is implied. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like, I will, I say good morning almost every day. I used to say good night all the time, but with the way I've been exhausted and just passing out lately, it doesn't happen as often. But I do say good morning almost every morning type shit. I ask them how their day is going. I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing the bare minimum, honestly. But as someone who hasn't had the bare minimum done for him, in like a lot of my previous relationships, it's
Hey,
like,
yeah.
uh, it's
Lead
like,
by example.
yeah. And let me tell you something. I've healed a lot. A lot of my relationship trauma has been dealt with, thank God.
Hey, there you
Uh,
go.
and
Congratulations.
I haven't told him to his face, but I've talked to my roommates and I've talked to Chanel, and I've been like, I'm so happy that I am who I am now, and I've healed a lot, so I can actually be a good relationship partner to somebody and
Mhm.
not who I used to be. Because
Nice.
it was rough before.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you it's a bad transition
Mhm.
because my Valentine's Day was very much I watched Twilight and
Ayo.
the relationship in that very much very much exactly what you're describing.
No, are you saying that I fucking Stockholm syndrome someone?
Oh no, no, no. I'm not saying that at all. Absolutely not.
I'll have you know, I develop feelings second.
R- e-
Good shit.
Second to what?
Second to them. They develop feelings for me first.
Oh, okay. No, I see what
I'm the Bella in this scenario.
I never having never have you watched how much of the Twilight franchise have you watched?
It's been a long time, but I've seen every movie because my mom was obsessed with it.
Okay, okay. I mean, I remember it being a really big deal back in the day.
Mhm.
Never watched it until now.
Mhm.
Mainly because they were like, "Hey, here's something to do on Valentine's Day," and they like listed a bunch of movies, and I was like, "Oh well, Twilight's one that I haven't seen before."
Yeah.
Um, I'm not gonna go into a lengthy review of this. Suffice to say that it kicked off a vampire binge.
God dang.
I don't know what it is about. I don't. Is it because Twilight's a love story, or is it because they're vampires that
Both.
they're like, this is a Valentine's Day sort of
Don't
activity?
forget written for teenagers, because that's a big thing that you have to go into that really remembering. Because if you
Yeah,
think about, like, the reality of everything that happens in those movies, you're like, "Dude, what the hell is going on?"
yeah. I I
Also
I
sorry.
I just I don't understand their relationship. I don't know if it's an allegory for something, which
I don't
I'm
know.
sure you could read into it in
Teenage
every
angst and, horniness. I
I
mean, they're not
guess.
teenagers by the end of it, but,
Oh, but like by
uh,
the third movie, you mean?
I think so. I think they're, like, grown at I think they're, like, what, 17, 18? Or I guess she is, like, 17, 18. I don't remember,
Yeah,
though.
because I think she's 16. Well, technically, Robert Pattinson's character is
He's,
only
like, 100
17.
something.
Yeah, well, yes, yes, but I think he's only 17 in the movie or something like that.
17 again. Crazy movie.
Yeah, he's like 17
Um,
forever because immortality.
yeah.
And he's like,
Also
"Yeah, you're like the best food I could possibly imagine." And she's like, "I don't care that you'll eat me." It's like, "All right, okay. That's I don't know what to do with this." The love scenes that they have together, or the falling in love scenes, I guess I should say.
give me
It
a
just
second.
seems like she's after his power.
You know,
She's
it's
by the end of it,
possible.
right? She's like, "Just turn me. Why didn't you turn me?" He was like, "It's a curse. You don't understand." She's like, "I don't care. I don't care that this is bad."
Hold on, give me one second. I need to so, I don't
I
know in which order or, like, when it happens in the movies, but, the from Bella meeting Edward to when they get married, right?
Mhm.
That happens in the span of about a year and a half.
Okay, so they're both technically like, uh, they had neither of them graduate high school in that time.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Not even let's see, they said that happened let's see, um, her birthday so before the and she
I'm
wasn't
trying
married.
to understand why a lot of
Uh,
the people that I know are trying to get married so young. This all
yeah,
started
I
with
don't know.
Twilight.
It probably yeah, let's be honest. But, also, a lot of that time of them knowing together, Edward was not around,
What do you mean he
if you
wasn't
really
around?
think because did you
Well,
watch
okay,
all the Twilight
no, I've
movies?
only seen the first Twilight movie.
Oh,
I
okay,
haven't
okay. I'm
seen
not
Breaking
I'm sorry, I
Dawn
didn't mean to spoil it for you.
or whatever the next 2 is. No, I mean, I know
I believe
from
it goes
memes that they get
Twilight,
married,
New
and I know there's, like,
Moon,
werewolves and
Eclipse, and
whatnot.
Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2.
Yes. Weirdly, no werewolves in the first movie. I guess they just decided that'll be a later thing. I don't know, I guess they were
Maybe.
basing it off the book, so maybe the first book didn't have it.
I I actually don't know.
Yep. I'm
I
not a
haven't read
big
the
enough
books.
fan. Yeah, me neither.
But
And
I
after
mean
having watched that first one, doesn't really make me want to read the books. I think I'm so out of the demographic. I'll settle with the movies and just
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm almost
they're
certain
fine.
that, the werewolves might have been added a little bit later to add a lot more drama.
Well, there's a build in the first one. There's like
Yeah, it keeps
lore
going.
between the Native American tribe that lives on the land and
Oh,
the Coens, I think is
the
the
Cullens.
Cullens, sorry, the Cullens, yeah. There's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're like ancient enemies and blah blah blah, and then the dad is just or the Jacob, the werewolf dude's dad is very against the Cullens in general. He's just, I guess, I don't know.
I don't
I
know, he's
mean,
also a very absent father in that series.
who?
The
The father of
dad?
Jacob?
No. Oh, I
Oh.
thought you were talking about her dad, sorry.
Oh, no, yeah, the police officer, the human police officer dad. Classic.
Yeah.
It's classic.
He's barely even there,
Yeah, he's
which
sort
I
of
think
used
that's
as
why
the
Bella
damsel in
acts the way that
distress.
she does.
Yeah. The Bella's whole family are just damsels, every
Yeah,
single one of them.
you
Like, the
know
dad's a damsel in distress.
yeah.
I think her mom is divorced and married to somebody else.
I don't even
Also,
remember her
well,
mom in that story,
far
honestly.
less damsel in distress. The mom basically just bailed. and is living the best life with like a it's like a
Maybe
baseball
he's
star or
also a
something.
vampire.
Could be,
Hmm.
yeah. I can't wait
Maybe it
to
just
see the
runs in the
second and third
family.
one. Yeah. But like I
Uh,
said, that kicked off a vampire like run.
Binge. Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched a series of vampire movies now because I went over to the Blade trilogy.
Oh, I have not watched Blade, but I hear it's really good. Any
Oh,
of them.
it's so good. It's so campy. It's like the
Yeah.
I don't know what the first
John,
superhero movie was, but
what does campy mean?
what does campy mean?
Like, I
Oh,
kind of know, but like, I still don't know how to properly use it because
okay, so
Anthony's explained it, but I still don't. Yeah.
yeah, so you know how like Marvel has sort of taken over the superhero everything?
Yeah.
They're kind of the epitome of it.
Hmm.
Um, Blade, I this might be wrong, but and I want to say this: that Blade is like the first superhero movies, basically. At
Hmm.
least the ones that are done on like a big scale budget. And I don't really know why it was Blade of all people, but I
Why
ain't mad
not?
at it because they're awesome. And
Isn't that
Wesley
Wesley
Snipes,
Snipes? Yep.
yes, Wesley Snipes plays Blade, the lead dude. And camp is sort of like it describes to me at least, I feel like it kind of varies person to person, but camp to me is sort of like the original version of what it of a trope.
Hmm.
So like everything that Blade did was sort of it was all over the top. Wesley Snipes, he like poses he does like superhero poses, very
Hmm.
like anime JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of he does like action poses and is basically unkillable. He's like cutting down all these, you know, peon vampires doing awesome flips and karate and ninjutsu and all this stuff.
Yeah. The way that
And
like
all
Anthony
this stuff,
explained it. Oh, sorry.
yeah. No, yeah, yeah. What is sort of camp to you?
I'm still trying to learn. But he kind of said that it's like it. I guess in a way, like it plays into the trope. Like it knows it's a trope, and it just like full dives into it.
Yes, yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's sort of yeah. I guess like when I described it as the origin of it, it's like the base of a trope.
Hmm.
Is sort of it's distilled down to its essence. It's not parody. There's a big difference between a parody and like, you know, being campy. Campy is generally considered bad, but if
Hmm.
you like look at a genre, right? Like for example, like a horror slasher where it's set at a summer camp and there's like a bunch of counselors and they all die
Hmm.
except for one person and that's like the final girl and the final girl is like a virgin, right?
Hmm.
These are all tropes that have been tried and true and done again. But
Okay.
if you do it, a movie can be like very tropey, where they have all of those things, and you kind of, depending on how well it's done, I tend to get bored when I
Hmm.
see a movie that has a lot of cliches and tropes and all this stuff. But when something is campy and done well, good camp, it's
Good
like
camp.
if you are, yeah, if you know what they're referencing,
Hmm.
it's like, this is great. You're just having a great time going, why on earth is he posing like that? Why did he cut through that dude, sheathe the sword, and then he fell in half?
Oh.
It's like that level of just goofy, over the top comic book action that
Okay.
all
Okay.
three
Okay.
Blade movies, I watched them like back to back. I watched like one on one day and then a double featured 2 and 3
Hmm.
because it's just great. They're oh man. Yeah, they're very fun. I think they're kind of pillars in black cinema as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And Wesley Snipes makes a comeback in the uh third Deadpool movie. I think he is a character in there.
Yes. I still have yet to see that movie. I need to
Good
watch
movie.
it still.
It's fun.
I think it's on
It's
Disney
very
Plus
fun.
now. I think I might watch it today.
You should. It's great.
It's
But
a crate.
that was only the second vampire section because
Oh
I don't know if
boy.
I can guarantee you haven't seen these. Well, okay, I take it back. I don't want to
It's me.
prejudge.
It's me, John. Come on.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You have definitely not seen these, but there's 4 movies, well, 4 sections that I watched, right? Twilight, Blade, then Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. No, I think I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
I've heard of it because it was a very big deal back in the day. This was 1994, by the way, when this came out, and it's starring Brad Pitt, um, no, sorry, not Leonardo DiCaprio. Who's the guy in Top Gun? Why am I blanking on his name?
Tom Cruise?
Yes, Tom Cruise. Thank you. And
See, no actors.
oh, and there's some other really famous people that are in it, or really good actors that have gone on to do more stuff.
Interview
Uh,
with a vampire. Oh, it's a TV
hilariously, the
series?
best the way. Sorry, say what?
Is it TV series or
There
like a
was a
movie?
TV series made after it. This was
Oh,
a
okay.
movie that was based on a book.
Oh, wow. It has a lot of big name actors. We got Brad
Yes.
Pitt,
Oh yeah.
Kirsten Dunst, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst is only she's like 12 in this movie. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
But weirdly, all of these have been different vampires, right?
Mhm.
Twilight, they can be out in the sun. They
They
don't
shine.
really
They
fear
glisten.
anything. I think the only way that they could kill a vampire in that movie was they cut one into tiny pieces and then burned the pieces. In
Yeah.
Blade, he's killing him with everything, right? Silver bullets, stakes to the heart, sunlight. He's doing everything, right? Everything works against the vampires. There's just so many of them that he's cutting them down. Interview with a Vampire, it was again confusing as to how like they couldn't go out in the day. Yeah, they basically turned to ash in the day. Uh but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. Because Interview with the Vampire, very different than Twilight and Blade, right?
Mhm.
It's not focused on action and being they're like, we are vampires.
Mhm.
And it's sort of the story of a vampire through the ages, starting in the 1800s. So this Brad Pitt gets turned in like the 1800s and then lives to the modern day, and is the sort of narrator is I guess he's maybe an interviewer, or he's writing a book or a news article or something. I forget exactly what he's doing, but he's talking with Brad Pitt about his life as a vampire.
Mhm.
And basically the takeaway from this movie is I saw a review after I watched it. I like to write my thoughts down, and I read a couple of other people's thoughts on it, and they basically said, the quote that has remained with me is that when they made this movie, they tried to minimize the gay subtext that was in the
Oh,
original novel.
no.
I can
Uh-huh.
only imagine that that book has to be probably like the gay Bible or something, because that movie the movie was unbelievable. I was watching it going like, "Okay, so they're gay, right? That's like 100%." It was a male vampire, right, played by Cruz, who
Mhm.
turned Brad Pitt, who is also a male actor, into basically like his wife, and they just live together through the rest of,
Oh.
like they turn each other, well, not I say wife, they're basically companions, right? And then they adopted Kirsten Dunst. They turned a little girl and basically had a daughter. So it was these two dudes who were just like really attractive people, and then their daughter, and they were just walking around. And reading that, I was for watching it, I went, okay, so I mean, I'm not reading into this at all. This is surface level. I don't think you could be more gay than this. I don't say this in a bad way. I'm just like when I went, when I saw it, yeah, they did their best to remove sort of the gay subtext. I mean, what subtext? There is there is no subtext here. This is just what this movie is.
Mhm.
Like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I really enjoyed Interview with a Vampire. Great movie. They did all of the vampire stuff super well. It was very what do you call it? Existential. It's a very existential kind of movie.
Mhm.
Where it's like they're questioning the reality itself and what it means to be human vampire. What's the cost of living forever? And blah 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 and all this stuff. Highly recommend it. I am not very schooled in the vampire filmography lore, but that one's definitely up there. Probably of the 5 movies I've now listed, that was my
Mhm.
top one because the last one
Oh.
is ridiculous. John Carpenter's Vampires. John
Mhm.
Carpenter, very famous horror director. He did a vampire movie that was, I mean, it was dumb. That's the best way I can describe it.
Dumb?
It was
Why was it
dumb.
dumb?
I mean, it was like, so it's 1998. You got to keep that in mind. Vampires have been around for a while. We've done vampires well. Blade was that same year, the first Blade. But John Carpenter came out with his little, I mean, they're like unkillable vampires. You could only burn them. You have to like drag them out. They're trying to become daywalkers. It's the
Mm.
classic, there's all this stuff. It had a really weird soundtrack as well. Very heavy rock, uh, or maybe classic rock for the time. It was ridiculous. It's a weird movie. It's fun in a John Carpenter, you know. I didn't realize he was as much of a comedy. He's done a lot of comedy stuff. I think I talked last time about another one of his movies, Dark Star.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he did that. That was his first movie, was just straight up like surrealist comedy. Then he went on to do all this horror stuff, but he's very much still into comedy, even through all of his horror movies, because there was a lot of bits in John Carpenter's Vampires. But
Ooh,
I
so
don't know. I don't know if you have any interest in vampires or any other further vampire recommendations, but this genre goes on
Castlevania.
forever. Yes, you have described Castlevania. I'm looking for movies. Movies more than
Castlevania
TV shows.
Nocturne, seasons 1 and 2.
Those are TV shows. Those are
I
TV
don't like
shows.
your attitude, mister.
Nah, I'm not downplaying
Vampire
TV shows.
movies?
I'm
I
just
mean, I
saying
hear
there's a lot of.
Nosferatu's pretty good.
Yeah, he's technically not a. I guess he is a vampire. Yeah,
I
that's
mean, you can
part of
watch
what he
the
does.
Hotel Transylvania movies. Those are
I,
vampires.
I didn't think about it in that way. I have seen all 3, I think, Hotel
I think there's
Transylvania
4.
movies. Oh my gosh,
Hold on.
is that
Hotel.
Illumination? They're cranking
Yeah.
those things out.
Is there a
Did you
4th
see
one?
the new
Yeah.
Nosferatu with the Robert Eggers one?
No, I haven't. I don't think I've seen any of them actually.
Oh, well, there's been a couple of them.
Mhm.
I've seen the new
Um,
one. I have not seen the old one, like the
yeah, I think
40s
the
one or
only
whatever.
vampire movies I've seen outside of maybe like if there was like a Scooby Doo little special kind of thing would have been um what's it called? Twilight.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I did a little research while you were talking about the interview with the vampire, and
Okay, sure.
apparently the TV show is even better. Like it's a more modern take of the book or the movie and the book, I guess technically.
Okay.
But where the book was kind of implying it and the movie kind of danced around it, the show does not hide it at all.
Really?
But apparently they also do a really good job at like showing the world from the vampire's eyes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Uh,
I think they did a great job in the movie as well. Or are you talking about in the TV show
yeah,
or
in the
just
TV
in
show.
general?
In the TV show.
Fair enough. That's cool.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, what is this?
Yeah, they
Dracula
kind of vaguely talked
Untold.
about that in Twilight. There was a lot of scenes between Edward and Bella where he was like, "Yeah, I look at the world differently because I'm different."
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, yeah, you are."
Hold
But
on.
that wasn't really the same as I find myself appreciating more and more I don't know what the way to
Uh,
say it is, long-term storytelling. I like
oh,
when a
interesting.
thing is hundreds of years long and you
Yeah.
get to see like the ripple effects of stuff that happened. Because I want to say they were in the 1800s, like early 1800s. I mean, the dude's like Brad Pitt's character, I think, is like a plantation owner or something like that.
Mm.
And then he gets turned and then burns down the plantation. Basically, is like, I don't know what to do with my life anymore. And then slowly over time, I don't know what they did to get money. Maybe they robbed banks.
I, yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do? Get stopped?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
What's I gonna say? So I guess technically it's a vampire movie. I Am Legend.
Those are zombies.
Well, I'm looking it up, and apparently they're like zombie vampire hybrids
Yeah,
or like
they do not
mutants.
want to come out in the day. That's very true.
And like the disease that they contract is called vampires. So I don't know.
Wow, you know, that's fair. I always thought of them as zombies, but I guess they're kind of like vampire spawn, I guess would be more accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, but it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I don't even remember it honestly. I gotta watch
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all the vampire movies I think I've ever seen. Hold on.
Well, that transitions us nicely into my third, and it is based on movies, but it's an actual
What a
topic rather than
surprise!
just the idea of vampires in general, right?
Oh wait, before you continue, one
Oh
more.
yeah,
I don't know if you've watched it, but Renfield. I haven't seen that.
yeah, with oh my,
Nick
yeah,
Cage.
with Nick Cage. Yes, that one's pretty funny. Yeah, I like
I
that
haven't
one.
seen that one. I gotta watch that one eventually too.
Oh gosh, there was another one with Johnny Depp. I think I might have talked about it on here already, where
Mhm.
they find him he gets like I think he is a vampire maybe, and then they bury him under the ground to like lock him away forever. But then he
Dark
gets
Shadows?
uncovered. Yeah, what we do in the shadows. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, Dark Shadows.
Oh, Oh yeah, that's. Oh, I'm thinking of a different one entirely. What we do in the
Yeah.
shadows, I think, is a TV show and a movie, maybe.
Doesn't throw by a woman and dead ringer for results. Oh, it's based on a Tim Burton comic.
Which one? Dark
Dark
Shadows?
Shadows? I'm
Yeah,
guessing it
yeah.
says.
Oh, I think he directed it.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Mhm.
Barnabas Collins. Oh yeah, he looks like a
Another
vampire. Yeah, he
Cullen.
directed it. Okay.
Yep.
But anyways, on to your next topic. Sorry.
Yes. So, I watched 3 movies recently. Uh, and the way that I could describe this concept is relating older comedy to modern comedy. I guess I should probably put a third middle point in there. There's old
Mm-hmm.
comedy, there's mid 2000s comedy, and then there is 2020s comedy. Because these are the 3 movies that I watched. All right, there's Meatballs from 1979,
Mm-hmm.
followed by Wet Hot American Summer, which was 2001, and then the third movie is Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain.
Oh.
I can tell you. Okay, let me ask you this question.
The answer's
What
probably no.
style of humor appeals to you more?
Uh-huh.
Based on I mean, I guess based on movies, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
70s and 80s humor, 2000s humor, or like modern 2020 plus humor.
Probably 2000s humor because modern modern humor just fails on me mostly because it kind of appeals to younger audiences, honestly.
Okay.
Or it's
Okay.
like they a lot of things these days really point out obvious jokes. Um,
Sure. Sure.
but I feel like there's a distinct lack of like good shit. I'd say 2000s because I also grew up with that. It's like one of those things where what you grew up with is what you're the most familiar with. Um,
Fair.
so I guess I'll go with that because like when I think of comedy stuff like that, I think of like the scary movie parodies.
Okay. That 100% Wet Hot American Summer is a parody movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Weirdly, it's a
enjoy
parody movie
those.
of the like of Meatballs. Was the best way I could describe those two movies' relationships.
Yeah, Meatballs. I don't think I've seen that one,
Yeah,
but
it's
that
with
makes sense.
it's 1979. It's got
Bill Murray.
yes, Bill Murray is the lead, and then there's a lot of sort of younger uh actors in it. There's sort of I
Mm.
mean it's a summer camp, so it's
Pete
a lot of kids.
Lynch, Christian DeBelle. Check in.
Yes. And okay, so then interesting that you would say that like have you seen Wet Hot American Summer?
I don't think so. Have
Okay,
I?
but you
Probably
did
not.
reference like the Scream movies, so those are
Yeah,
very
the
similar,
the the
right?
scary movie. Yeah, I do. I like parody movies that are like self-aware that they're parody movies, and they're self-aware that they're parodying like big like blockbuster hits type shit. or like
Yes.
they're
Wet Hot
playing on
American
trope.
Summer falls directly in that boat. You know what? In that case, I would say you should watch this movie and then let me know if it falls in the same vein as what you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Because of those three, I can tell you that that was the 2000s humor was my least favorite of those three.
really. I mean, that's fair.
Mainly, I can kind of describe. I can do my best to describe why I think so. Okay,
Mhm.
Meatballs as a comedy. Oh, all three of these are comedies. Meatballs is the best way I could put it is earnest. I would say that it is trying, and it's sort of the setting is like a summer camp, right? I think it's a whole summer of activities that these kids are going on, and Bill Murray is there and doing his thing.
Mhm.
Uh, Wet Hot American Summer is sort of the same concept, but it's the very last day of that summer.
Oh, okay.
Please Don't Destroy is unrelated. That was just the movie that I watched. It wasn't a
That's like a
summer camp
recent.
thing.
Got it.
Yes, yes. But Meatballs, watching that, it was like it didn't make me laugh, constantly. But when I wasn't laughing at it, I was like filled with a sense of nostalgia, despite
Okay.
this being, 20 years before I was even born. More
Mhm.
than, no, somewhere around that range, right? Close to that range.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just watching it going like, yeah, it gives me a good, nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, and there are laughs. This is a solid 80s comedy. I guess it's, 79 is close enough, right? But
Mhm.
all of their jokes, all of their bits are very, very wholesome.
Mhm.
Except for there are definitely some weird kind of uh the girl says no, but the guy keeps going sort of thing going on,
Yeah.
which is
That was the
par for the
80s.
course at that stage.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Different.
Read off the
Yeah.
notes. It was a different time. But, outside of that, it's a very fun movie. Uh, it's a camp fling kind of thing. So there's a lot of sort of relationship drama and misunderstandings and that sort of stuff. So it's very fun, right?
Yeah. Would you
Then
say?
what?
I was gonna say. Would you say that? Uh, I guess compared to what is was it? Wet Hot American Summer is what it's called.
Yeah, Wet Hot American
Uh,
Summer.
or I guess those kind of like parody movies is because when I'm looking at thinking about it now, obviously it's like very obviously a parody. So like the story kind of is known what it's gonna be, but because the story is known, they kind of take away from that story progression and just kind of focus more on the parody side of it. And do you think that that could like that takes you out of watching the movie as much? Because you were saying that when the jokes weren't there when you were watching Meatballs, like, you still felt the sense of nostalgia and, like, you were engaged in the story and things like that.
Yes, 100%.
Mhm.
I think Wet Hot American Summer did a good job of well, to be fair to the movie, I didn't realize it was a parody starting it off. I
Yeah.
just realized it was about halfway through, maybe a little bit, probably before halfway through,
Yeah.
because they did use a lot of um anti anti-plot, right? It's
Mhm.
very like, yeah, we know what's going to happen. I mean, right out front, they say, this is the very last day. You need to do everything that you are going to do at summer, right? Like, have your summer fling. If you haven't had one already, you have like 23 hours at this point to find someone, fall in love, and then break up with them.
Mhm.
Right. So it's like, that's one of the characters' arcs is doing that. And just all the chaos that happens. Like, they pack in Meatballs as a whole summer, right?
Mhm.
American Summer has all of that in one day. So
Yeah.
it's hyper fast pacing. There's a lot of travel is sort of who cares, right? They like drove, you know, 10 hours to go to this place to put their canoes in the water to raft downstream, and then the
Mhm.
guy gets back to camp in like 2 hours running really fast cuz he wants to bone this girl. It's
Okay.
that kind of stuff, right? Where they've sort of taken a lot of the it's very tongue in cheek, right? And there's nothing,
Mm,
like, wrong with that. It's fun, it's fine. And there was also, like, a lot of the humor was very it's very 2000s. Uh,
mm.
it I don't I mean, this movie's old enough that I could probably tell you half of what goes on in there, and you still wouldn't be spoiled because there's, like, one of the plot points. For example, this one has remained with me, is that 2 of the counselors wanted to get their 3rd counselor, who had not had sort of a fling that summer, they wanted to get him with a girl, right? So they
Yeah.
were, uh, like, looking at this scene is still because it was so shocking to me. I just came out of nowhere where it was like the 3 of them, right? And they're, like, watching these girls in the water, the female counselors getting ready to splash water on each other and, just play with a beach ball or whatever, and the 2 of
Mhm.
them are like, "Bro, that's the one you should go for." And then the 3rd guy's like, "Alright, I actually need to go, I'll be right back." He leaves, and the other 2 are like, "Ah, man, I feel bad for him." He hasn't had a fling all summer, and then he basically beelines from the tree they're hiding behind to a shed nearby where he goes into this shed with this dude, and they have aggressive gay sex out of
Oh.
nowhere,
Oh,
completely unwarranted, where we just
okay.
basically it's them 2 boning while the other 2 guys are looking at the girls in the water going like, "Yeah, I bet if we get him and her, we put them in the same room together, all this stuff," and then it cuts back to the 2 of them in the cabin, and then
What
it
the
would cut
fuck?
back to it was the most jarring thing I've ever like, I thought this movie was rated I didn't even know what this movie was rated, but I was like, whatever rating they gave it, it was too low because I wasn't ready. I was not mentally prepared. I wasn't ready for anything that happened in that scene. But they
That's
basically took
fair.
that bit and then they had 2 more iterations of it down the line, not where they
Oh
were, like,
god.
going at it, where it was like the 2 guys found out that the other 2 guys were gay because they tried to, uh they, like, followed, the guy number 1 that they were trying
Mhm.
to get with somebody, with that person because the 2 of them walked out into the woods and they're like, "Yes, we finally made it happen. Let's follow him into the woods and watch," right? So they follow him out there and then they stumble upon a gay wedding where the dude and the guy, the 2 guys that were going at it are getting married in the water and the girl is officiating the wedding.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then they, like, take that idea and they flip it again, but they're like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Like, he's gay? Out of nowhere, like, we're gonna have to do something about this." And then big finale of the scene kinda comes along, and,
Mhm.
they're like, "You, stand up, we got a problem with you. You don't have this lovely cutlery set that we got you as a congratulations on your wedding," and it's just like it was yeah. It was the craziest plot line I've seen out of completely nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was just
hilarious.
it was that's probably one of my favorite parts of that because I just had no idea what was going on. And the
Mhm.
rest of it I was all like, "Yeah, this is basically just a parody movie." And then at the other point, yeah, it was just amazing. But that
Uh,
was sort of the big difference between '79 and 2001, right?
yeah.
Where far less tongue in cheek. The Meatballs, very earnest, very, very
Very
real,
demure.
right? It was nostalgic. And
Yeah.
then, yes, there was a story going on as well. So it was like when I wasn't, when they weren't doing a joke, I was, watching an actual drama unfold
Mhm.
versus Wet Hot American Summer was just basically jokes.
Yeah. That's fair. I have an update on, the comedy that I enjoy, actually.
Okay. Yeah. What's up?
I found an outlier for, like, modern comedy, which is what the heck? Oh, sorry, Jacob's playing Helldivers in the other room.
Nice.
Um, so what's it called? I guess I don't know. So there was a movie that I don't even know how we stumbled upon it, but I think it was with Jacob. You just started watching it one day. I don't remember if it was Jacob. It was somebody, but it was me and somebody else. We were watching this movie, and it's called Palm Springs. And it's an Andy Samberg movie. Andy Samberg and I forgot what the lead actress's name is, but it's another like Groundhog Day kind of movie. But it's why did you say
Okay.
nice? What?
Where it's
What?
like the
Why did Jacob just texted me nice? Oh, I forgot I texted him earlier. What's it called? But it's like another Groundhog Day kind of movie where stuck in a time loop or whatever, and like you have to relive the same day. And I believe the plot of it is Andy Samberg. He's supposed to be getting married, but his girlfriend or I guess fiance has been cheating on him. And he's been so he's supposed to be getting married, and then the main character girl, the lead actress, or the lead female character. Good golly, Miss Molly. Um, I don't remember what her deal is, but she finds out that she's stuck in a time loop. And what's it called? She realizes that she's not the only one. The other person is Andy Samberg. Is it Andy Samberg? That's his name, right?
yeah.
But it's a comedy, and it's a lot of people like compare it to Groundhog Day because it's the same kind of premise, yada yada yada. And I mean, it's been done over and over again. Like, oh, time keeps going over and over again until you learn a lesson or something like that, kind of like
Right.
a hex. But this movie's different, actually. I don't remember why it's different though. But something happens, and they find out that they're both stuck in this time loop. And I think this might be one of the first times there is like two people stuck in this Groundhog Day time loop kind of deal. And they end up falling in love. It's kind of cute or whatever. But then it's very existential,
Oh,
and
sure. Oh,
very
yeah. Groundhog Day is
reflective.
all, yeah.
Uh, and like they have to really accept their own flaws as people and like this whole thing. But it's also a comedy. And I don't remember it too much, but I just remember it like randomly popped up in my head as you were talking about what's it called? Because I was like, well, is this movie a parody or is it just like a full on movie? And yeah, it's a whole movie. Um,
Yeah.
it's not a parody, but it just plays on that idea. And I don't know where I was going with this, but I enjoyed that movie. I think it was funny. It was a nice little comedy.
Yeah. As an
Very
example of modern,
yeah,
I would be interested in, because I know Andy Samberg is, he has a lot of internet humor, right? I suppose that
absolutely.
that might be the way to describe at least part of what he does. He has that aspect about him. I would
Hmm.
honestly put him in his own category of like the aughts, right? 2010 to
I can
2020.
agree with that 100%.
He sort of is a very defining uh character, or he has very defining characteristics that I attribute with that at the very least.
Yeah. No.
I would say that
What?
there's a movie I might suggest that you watch. The third one on my classic versus mid 2000s versus maybe modern is not the right word for it.
Mm,
Because the third movie is called Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain. All
yeah.
right.
That's a lot
Now,
of letters.
yes, it is. Well, it's technically it's a there's a colon, right? It's Please Don't
Mhm.
Destroy.
Colon.
They're a comedy trio that do they're based in New York and they do sketch humor. And
Mhm.
I think apparently they write for Saturday Night Live. I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
But they made this movie starring the three of them that is, I mean, I've never seen a more directly referential movie to those low budget sketches that are, I mean, that we've made, that
Yeah.
you see all over the internet.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I would
Oh, so the
say
group is called Please Don't Destroy.
yes. Mhm.
Oh,
The movie is called Please Don't Destroy: The Treasure of Foggy Mountain.
got it.
I had a wonderful time watching this movie because that humor and my humor clicked so hard.
Mhm.
I was dying. I mean, yeah, sure. There are there are some hits and there are some misses. All comedy goes just like that.
Yeah.
But there were the sheer amount of jokes per minute were it was great. I would highly recommend if you like modern, if you like surrealist what's the best way I could describe this? Off color.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
here's a
Peacock
Wikipedia
movie.
page, right? Satire, surreal humor, off color humor.
Mm.
I mean, I could tell you there were too many jokes to even mention, but
Is that
maybe the
Conan
one.
O'Brien?
Yes, Conan O'Brien does play a key. I think he's one of their dads. I think he plays one of their fathers.
Mm.
But there's legitimately. I still remember this. I watched this movie like a week ago. I can still vividly picture one of the bits where they're going to a wedding, and one of the three main characters looks at the other and he goes, "I you gonna get any of these pigs in the blanket?" Sorry, I need to actually deliver this. You guys, like,
Try
you
again?
gonna get any of these pigs in the blanket? The guy goes, "Nah, I don't really like them." And the first guy says, "Ah, yeah, I personally I'm more of a fan of the blanket than the pig." And then
What
he sucks the he sucks the breading off of the pigs in the
Oh
blanket,
my god.
and, and everybody just leaves the hot dog, right? The little mini sausage,
I
and
don't
everybody's
like
looking at
that.
me like, "Did you just suck the bread off of that?" It was it was unbelievable. I mean,
That's wild.
I for me to have existed this long and having never seen that before,
Yeah.
I had to stop. I stopped the movie and I rewinded it. Rewound?
Rewound? Rewinded?
I double take. I legitimately had a double take because I couldn't see. I was like crying so hard from laughter after he sucked the bread off of that wiener. It was the oh my
How did
god.
he say it like that? He
That
said he
that's how
just
they
sucked
were
off
just
the foreskin pretty much.
they were it was it was bad. It was like one of those where
He
you're
circumcised that
okay.
wiener.
I guess the best way I could say it is if your humor has been so utterly destroyed by the march of time,
Mhm.
Please Don't Destroy has got you covered.
As in, like,
That the
brain
Treasure of
rot?
Foggy Mountain, I wouldn't go so far as brain rot. They're,
Mhm.
they're like they're sort of that nice Goldilocks zone
Okay.
between this is like humor that you would only understand if you don't have humor, and
Mhm.
humor that's like too
Complex.
sure. Yeah.
Highbrow. It's high
Sh
and lowbrow. It's midbrow.
yes. Yeah. Well, really, the movie's all over the place. I think it did a really good job of covering everything
Mhm.
because I don't know, their humor is just
Out
it
of
makes
this
sense
world.
that they're writing for like a lot of the people that don't like SNL's writing for the very like they don't like SNL's writing for the very reason that makes this movie so hilarious. And the people that worked on
Oh,
this also work on SNL. So
that
it's
makes
like
sense.
there's such a crossover that I don't know. I don't know why I haven't heard of these of Please Don't Destroy before because I
You
need
need
to
to get
learn more
into it.
about them. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, we'll expect an update on the next episode of your findings on Please Don't Destroy. Who
Yep.
knows? Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Who knows? I
We should
mean,
reach out to,
they're
you know,
not sponsored. Maybe we can work with them. They're
maybe
our
we can get them on the
peers.
show.
Yeah, they're our peers, don't you know?
We make all these jokes about sponsors. Have we even sent out a single email to anybody?
No, we don't need to. Yeah, look at that. 1995, 1995, 1998. I'm older than that dude is.
Hey, there's something wild about that. When was he born? What day?
September 13th?
Damn, he's older than me.
Yeah, get wrecked.
He definitely remembers the towers.
Yeah, 3 Saturday Night Live. Yeah, they've been writing since
He just ignored
2021 for
me,
them.
but whatever.
All right, I'm falling down the rabbit hole of their Wikipedia page.
Yeah, we should get out of
Please,
here.
if you are interested in any of these movies, I would definitely recommend the comedy ones because we
Yeah,
are a comedy podcast and we're hilarious.
we are hilarious.
I'm sure
Sometimes.
there are far more options. Wait, what was the one in the middle? Palm Springs. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have
Palm
to watch this.
Springs.
This is going on my list. I'll get back to you last week on if I feel like that deserves its own category or if
Last
it
week?
fits. What?
You'll get back to it last week?
I'll get back to it next week.
So he says. I will say it definitely. I think it goes in a different category than the ones you talked about because those are like pure comedy. This one is not.
Yeah,
This,
I mean romantic comedy. Well, I mean Andy Samberg just
yeah,
existing is
even
hilarious.
even, like, for Andy Samberg, it's a lot more serious for sure, which is
Really?
very
Okay.
interesting to, like, to experience a very serious Andy Samberg. Especially or at least the moments when it gets very existential and very self-reflective, it's like, dang, you can't help but feel for him. I think.
Noted.
I
Well,
can't remember anymore, but
in that case, you
let's
may
say it's
have
true.
just tried to derail my my comedy, my modern classic and
Oh, shoot, you're
surrealist
right.
comedy.
You should watch American Dad on TVS, CBS?
There you go.
T
That's like
T
the
hot This isn't even a hot take. American Dad is better than Family Guy, and I'll die on that hill.
wouldn't know. Haven't seen American Dad yet. Only well, I maybe seen like an episode.
See, I guess as a closing statement, Family Guy, if for a comparison, Family Guy is slapstick, low hanging fruit kind of humor. That it's also just completely random at times, and also just a lot of cutaways. American Dad is a lot more story based, and actually, it it feels good to watch sometimes.
Fair enough. I always kind of
uh,
related that and Futurama closer together.
yeah, I'd say I'd put Futurama. I would go Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama if it was like a spectrum. Actually, no, I would switch those. Family Guy, Futurama, American Dad. Actually, I put American Dad
Oh
and
my
Futurama
god,
at the same table.
we're losing them. We're losing everybody.
Okay, anyways, it's time to go. Love
Thanks
you
for coming,
guys.
everybody. Let us know your
Bye.
opinions. Tweet at us. Email us.
We'll answer your questions if anyone leaves them.
Yep. Yep.
Has anybody left any questions? We'll
I don't
figure it
know.
out.
I haven't looked.
Next time
Yep.
on
Bye.
John.
Oh,
John
oh,
talks to
yeah,
Lamb.
we'll get. Yeah. Lamb talks to.
Bye.
Bye.